when you were in the depths of pain, because you mentioned undescribable pain, can you
Yeah,
try to describe where you felt it, what that was like a little
sure.
bit?
Yeah, so a lot of that was the first week or two. I got on good drugs eventually, so that helped a lot. Also, the body acclimates to pain, and so you kind of reach a homeostasis where it stops recognizing the pain at the level. But at first, I mean, it was what was weird is I couldn't figure out what was going on. Right, I'm thinking I have some sort of like a bacteria or an infection, and I would lie down, and what would happen is because when I'd lie down, I'd put pressure on the actual problem itself on the pillow, is the pain would rise. And so I'd be caught in this like I can remember being in this hotel room in LA and I'm pacing around. I'm trying to like just calm down and control my breathing. And I'm looking at that bed. And when you're really tired, you're so tired that a commercial comes on the TV for like some kind of bed. You watch the commercial and you're like, you know what? I should go to bed right now. Like you can feel that compulsion to be asleep. And I could feel it. I'd look at the bed, it looks so comfortable. I just want to get into that thing and get comfortable. And I'd get in there and I'd kind of be comfortable for a beat. And then the pain would just spike and I would kind of jump out of the bed like I can't fall below the surface of sleep. And that was maddening
Yeah.
in a way that's just hard to articulate. Whereas like you can't have this thing that's right there that would be amazing, but nope. That
Yeah.
was the hardest part. I eventually the thing I was grappling with was I've lived a life as you said. I've been in fitness in some form since I was 19 years old. I've always been able to overcome. I've had times where I was, working on different things, losing body fat, trying to gain muscle. Maybe I've got a sprained ankle or some physical thing. I've always been able to overcome things pretty well. There was just a limit to what I was able to do with this. And there was nothing I could do about that limit. It was just like you're just gonna end up like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with the work for the day. And the arc of recovery is slow and long with this kind of thing. I'm still in it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
say you're saying like, you're looking at me, you're saying I'm fit. I'm like, well, if I took my shirt off and show you, I can show you where my rotator cuff muscle in my back hasn't recovered. There's a dent in my back because there's a particular part of the rotator cuff that's still just atrophied. It works, but it's lost its mass. Like I can stand in front of the mirror and go, that used to look better. That used to look
Yeah.
better. Oh,
I
oh
hear
well.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's acceptance. It is tolerance and acceptance and learning to love what is.
Well, you also said something that really caught my attention. You flew to LA, and you were there for 10 days. And what I'm really curious about is the flight itself, because where my genesis of where my back problem started, it may have started on a red-eye flight where I had to sit in the Los Angeles airport for 4 hours and
Mm,
then overnight fly for 5 hours in what would become the last coach seat of my life.
mm,
I flew in the coach seat, and I'm 6'7", so sitting in a seat with your back sitting very erect, with your legs up like that, with no space. All of that combined, and then to get home in the morning in Charlotte, where I lived at the
yeah.
time, and then to be able to, I don't know why I did this. I scheduled several coaching calls for that day, and I did them from my car in the parking garage. So
Oof.
I was for about 11 and a half to 12 hours seated in uncomfortable positions, not natural and not, yeah, not comfortable. And I got home and I could not walk. I had to lay down for the next 2 days, and something was wrong. That's when my health declined over the next several months. That was December 3rd of 2015 when it really hit its
Mhm.
head. But for your experience, what was your experience on a plane
Yeah.
on the way there? And then after 10 days of hardly any rest, the
Yeah.
way back, what was that flight like for you, the flights?
So to be honest, I do remember it being difficult. And I do remember briefly sleeping, but this is where things were actually getting worse and I didn't even realize it because I didn't know what was going on. The flight wasn't great, but I'm pretty accustomed to flights not being great in that way, in the exact way you describe. You're crammed in this little seat. Have you seen these new seats that are coming out where they're prospectively like where you're kind of standing? They create like this is for like economics. The
No,
airlines
but
want to get more money. Yeah. You're
wow.
you're not really sitting, you're in a kind of a lean where it's like almost like a bicycle seat, but more comfortable, and you kind of just have a backrest and you're closer to the people in front of you, which doesn't sound awesome. But I was talking to some friends about this, like, oh, this is terrible. They're just money grubbing. And I'm like, actually, for your spine, this is a better way to fly.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm like,
yeah.
sign me up, but can I get some more room? I don't want to feel the people in front of me so close.
Fair. And this is the Eternal Optimist podcast. So yes, people will be pessimistic about it's a money grab. But for those of us with spinal challenges, standing or leaning,
Huh.
I've explored that option at my house
Yes.
to get away from a couch for like 2 or 3 hours a night and to actually
Yeah.
have something to lean on. So I legitimately would consider that
Smart.
looking into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, you're back from there. What happens when you're back from LA between that July to November timeframe? I think that's where we're at. We're at November now.
Yeah.
So what happens there moving forward?
I'll tell you a little an anecdote that might add some color to this. So just a little bit backed up, my flight back from LA to Playa del Carmen.
Yeah.
I stayed at a variety of hotels in LA. The last one was like literally walking distance from the terminal, like this airport hotel right there, by intention. I knew I had to get up early for flight before the sun, and I just wanted to roll out of bed and either walk there. Ended up taking a shuttle, and as I'm in the shuttle ride to the airport, I'm sitting there and I'm mentally so exhausted because I have cumulatively about 8 hours of sleep over 10 days. The brain's not functioning. It's like I've been partying, but I haven't had any fun. And I suddenly think, yeah, where is my passport? Now I'm a person who doesn't lose things. I'm very like A-type personality, very organized. Everything has a space, but I'm not functioning. And I get to the airport and I'm like, there's this metal table there. I'm just gonna put my bag up there and I'm gonna find it. I just don't remember and I'll find it. And I'm pulling things out. I have those little cubes. That's how organized I am. Like all my clothes are in little cubes in
Yeah.
my bag.
Oh yeah.
It's very easy for me to figure out I'm not finding it. And as I'm looking for it, I'm thinking, stay calm because anything other than calm is not going to help the situation. But it becomes obvious I'm not finding it, and I finally I start to lose it in a way that it's actually kind of hard to admit. I called my wife and I didn't want to call her because I'm like, she's going to freak out. But I'm like, I need a second brain. I need somebody who can think straight to help me with this. I had already called the first hotel I stayed at and asked them, and they said, no, there was nothing in the room. That was the last time I remembered seeing it. And I called my wife and I said, babe, I don't want you to freak out, but I'm kind of losing my wits here and I need to think this through. And then I started crying. Not like crazy, but I was like, it's just emotion started coming out of me. And it's like, I need to calm down. I need your help. She's like, I'll call the other hotels you stayed at. You keep looking. And I'm looking at my bag and my cubes of clothes on this table, and I'm thinking, there's this little tiny pocket in the front. It looks like a little pencil pocket. I'm like, I swear I just checked that, but I don't trust my brain at this point. So I'm just going to open it one more time. If it's the third time I've looked in there and it's the third time I found it's not in there, fine. But I don't care. I opened it up. There's my passport.
Oh, thank God.
And I immediately remembered putting it in there so that this wouldn't happen. I immediately had a
Oh,
memory of thinking, I'm going to put this in here so I don't get to the airport and wonder where my passport is. I saw that the first day this could be a problem, but I didn't remember doing that for myself.
wow.
So
Wow, man.
so it's like,
Was
called
that
my
a
wife. I'm
moment
like,
of elation? Did you just start crying
oh
when you
man.
saw it? Oh,
Because I needed
yes.
so badly to get back to my doctor because this is where
Yeah.
my health care is. I can't afford to go to a doctor in LA. I don't have coverage there. I'm covered in Mexico. So I'm like, I can't see somebody here. I can't stay here anymore. I need to go home. I need to sleep. I need pills to help me sleep. And just everything went
Yeah.
chaos at that point in a way that I'm generally not wired to lose my stuff that way. Like, I
Yeah.
don't mean my things, but my emotional state. Like, I was just like, ooh, I am in rare form here. But I got back and I got the help, and then yeah, we saw the neuro, and then he's like, I want you to go to PT first. We need to spend a little time seeing if we can like, get you prepared for because there's going to be recovery afterwards. And then I did the surgery, and then it's just been PT, and I have my own program, so I really partnered with my PT to talk about the program and how to work on myself, and I'm still at it. I'm still working on it. It's a 12 to 18 month recovery. I'm not even a year since my surgery.
Wow.
So yeah, yeah. So I'm
Wow.
still fighting. I mean, that's been the good thing in this, Matt. Like I had to find a way to look at this in a way that didn't make me a victim. And I said to my wife, I said, the only thing I can think of is I've got something to fight for right now.